in terms of organic chemistry?
Alkanes.
Alkanes. Okay, what makes you think about alkanes? Let's just go out and then come into alkanes. I'm going to write this down. Alkanes. Okay, but go out. Organic chemistry in your real world, what does it mean?
Something that's from this earth, like something.
Carbon dioxide, water.
Okay, so carbon dioxide and water are actually inorganic. Inorganic are small molecules. So the organic is something much bigger.
Carbon.
Okay, so carbon-based. So let's start off that they are carbon-based. Okay, so think about things around you that are carbon-based. What is it? Is carbon important in our day-to-day activity, in our life? Okay, so it's like the study of life, like water, which is essential for our living. Okay, life to some degree because it makes up everything that is important to us. Okay, so think about everything that we eat, that we're made up of, and all of that. The macromolecules that we always speak about. Okay, what are they?
Amino acids.
Which make up, the big thing is called?
Single.
Amino acids make up?
Proteins.
Proteins. And then we have, what's the other macromolecule?
Lipids.
Lipids.
This is biology.
Then we have, this is biochemistry. Carbohydrates. And then we have something that makes us nucleic acids. Now I'm going to prompt you further and tell you, you as a person, you're made up of all of these that help you live. But you're also made up of hormones. Okay? You also need vitamins. All of these are carbon-based. Each one of these is a massive macromolecule that has at least 100 units of a carbon in there in some form of a unit. Does that make sense? So the vitamins that you take as tablets have carbon in them. So in order for these pharmacists to basically sell you these products, okay, the scientists in the lab who are creating these drugs, okay, have to make sure that they are assembling the carbon properly with the correct number of bonds to the correct atoms in the correct ratio in order for us to have all of this. So this is why this is a major topic and it goes into everything. So whether you want to be a general practitioner, a dentist, or any type of medical field, pharmaceuticals, you need to understand how these are in order to be able to understand how your work will work. Does that make sense? Even for people who are psychologists, if they are recommending a treatment for certain conditions, they need to understand this part in order to move forward. How this is affecting you, okay? Especially when you deal with things that regulate hormones, okay? So there's a lot of things that go into it, big macromolecules, smaller molecules, etc. Okay? So when we talk about organic chemistry, we said we look at carbon. So carbon-based. And if we go back to carbon, what group does carbon belong to?
14.
So it belongs to group 14. What do we know about group 4 elements?
4 valence electrons.
I have 4 valence electrons. Excellent. And if I have 4 valence electrons, what does that tell me about the number of bonds that I can form? 4 bonds. Now, in terms of carbon, what makes it unique is that it can have different types of bonds. And there's 3 different types of bonds that I can have. What are they? Single, double, and triple. So a single bond would have a maximum of how many electrons shared? 2. Okay, a double would have 4. Okay, and a triple would have
6.
Okay, so if I ask you in terms of reactivity, just thinking about that, which one do you think would be the most reactive? The one with the most electrons or the least electrons? The most electrons. Anytime I have a lot of electrons, that's going to make something really, really react. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now when I talk about these, they're going to come into different families of groups. Okay? The simplest ones that we're going to focus on today is something called the hydrocarbon. Okay? So if I tell you a hydrocarbon, what is a hydrocarbon?
Hydrogen and carbon.
So it's made up of carbon carbon and hydrogen.
Hydrocarbon. Arrow to the alkane.
It's supposed to go to the carbon, but because it was clicking on the icon, it wouldn't let me type. Okay? So it's made up of only carbon and hydrogen, hence the name hydrocarbon. This is different to a carbohydrate. Hydrate means water. Carbohydrate simply means carbohydrate. A hydrate of a carbon. Does that make sense? So don't mix them up. Hydrocarbon, only carbon and hydrogen. Carbohydrate is carbon with a water. Hydrate means water. We're okay up until now. Do you have any questions? So the main focus today is on hydrocarbons. So there's 3 families. So Mariam, you said there's alkanes. What's the other type? There's alkanes. Alkynes. And then the last one is? Does anyone remember?
Alkenes.
Alkenes, well done. Okay? And the difference between them is this. Whether I have single, double, or triple bonds. Clear?
That's a part of hydrocarbons.
Hydrocarbons. So we're specifying the family, the 3 family of hydrocarbons, which are alkanes and alkynes. The other functional group we get to later. We're okay with this?